Resist doing another Futurama video. But you really want to. Resist doing another Futurama video. But the fans really want it. Resist doing another Futurama video. Think of the fuse. Resist doing another Hey, hello, how do you do? Shady Doorags here. Yeah, I was trying to avoid doing another Futurama video so soon. After being known as the BoJack guy for so long, I really wanted to circumvent any future situations of people subscribing just for one specific series. But I failed horribly at resisting temptation. There is just too many episodes that really need a review, and too many of you intellectuals have been asking for another one. Gotta strike while the FE is hot and all that. A lot of requests got tossed around in the last Futurama video. Jurassic Bark, Lethal Inspection, Game of Tones, but obviously there was one that stood out among the rest. We need to talk about the utterly fantastic episode, The Late Philip J. Excuse me for a sec. Yeah. Yeah, I'm about to do it right now. What do you mean Johnny Two Cellos beat me to it? Yeah, I waited, but... No, we can't just do it anyway. His thumbnails are way better than mine. I look like an idiot. Okay, hey, shut up, okay? I'll figure something out, alright? Alright. The Sting! Yes, obviously that was what I was gonna say before I got interrupted.
And that's a fact.
Similar to the luck of the Friarish, the Sting absolutely pulled it off in bringing tears to my to making me grill on the barbecue during my binging. And that's saying something, because this is not only an episode I've already seen, but one of the few episodes I remember almost every detail about, and yet it was still able to make me light up charcoal. So, without further ado, let's take a look. The episode starts with some minor world building of Fry and Bender playing virtual golf. Yeah, time has not been too kind to some of the futuristic aspects of this show. We can pretty much do this now. The Professor and Hermes walk in and we get our first sign that this episode is gonna be special.
Bad news, everyone!
Farnsworth has a mission for the team, but he doesn't think they can handle it considering his last crew died trying. Little side note, it makes sense that the Professor would see his last crew as better since Bender, Leela, and Fry all have career chips that don't belong to them. In fact, they belong to the last crew.
We are just as good as any of those other crews you sent to their deaths.
This is incredibly in character for Leela. Whenever someone tells her she's not good enough to do something, she reverses psychology right into whatever they're talking about. Farnsworth explains that the crew would need to get ordinary honey.
This is no ordinary honey. It's produced by vicious space bees. A single sting of their hideous neurotoxin can cause instant death.
Leela says challenge accepted, and because she's the captain, Fry and Bender have no choice but to go with her on the suicide mission.
Honeycomb's big. Yeah.
It's not small.
No.
That sounds like a reference I'm not getting. I'm gonna guess it has something to do with the cereal and move on. Fry, Leela, and Bender make it to the space hive with a plan to use Bender as a translator in order to keep the bees off their backs. While traveling deeper into the hive, they eventually come across the previous crew's ship.
Oh, the Professor was right. We're not as good as his old crew.
Well, I aim to prove him wrong.
Oh, Lord!
I couldn't make that out. Too much static.
Ah, my good old pal Hubris. How is it I run to you in literally every story in existence? All of this is being done to show Leela's initial character flaw of being prideful to the point of it being dangerous. She doesn't have to do this job, but as the headstrong person that she is, she feels that she has to, and has no problem putting the others in danger because of it. Leela's a risk taker, and while that is how most successful people are made, that's also how we wind up with Darwin Awards. Do me a favor and remember this scene for me.
It's a baby queen. Aw, she's so cute.
Leela continues to be Leela and decides that a random animal she found, one that's most certainly dangerous, is hers now. So the team have honey, jelly, and a baby queen all ready to go. Hey, show. This is a comedy. It's not funny if nothing goes wrong.
I'm sick of shaking my booty for these fat jerks.
There we go. Funny mistakes happen, nice little action sequence, and the award for the best part in this scene goes to...
I'm back, baby!
The crew managed to make their escape, and Leela's feeling pretty good about herself. But while she's boasting about how awesome she is, irony strikes.
You want her? You're gonna have to go through me.
Alright, so from this point on, it is happening. I'm not gonna say what it is, even though all of you have seen this episode 920 times and I would be spoiling nothing, but just keep in mind that it begins here.
Fry? He's dead.
Alright, hands up. How many of you actually thought Fry was dead when you first saw this? And how many of you weren't stupid kids when you did? You! Get out of here and don't come back until you learn what status quo means. So, because of Fry's totally real, definitely not a fake out death, a funeral is held in his honor.
It was all my fault. He died because of me.
Yes, and that is a very important part of the episode. In the episodes prior, Fry could have died and Leela being this sad wouldn't have made much sense. But because it was her who forced the team to go on the mission, her who brought the baby queen onto the ship, and Fry only jumped in the way because he was trying to rescue her, Leela sees it as her fault, which makes the death 10 times worse.
Soothe us with sweet lies.
A lot of good jokes and callbacks in this funeral, but that's Futurama for you, so let's skip ahead. Later in her bedroom, Leela tries to ease the pain of Fry's death with a little space honey.
I feel funny. Haha, funny.
Remember this scene, it will be on the test. In her dream, Fry visits Leela and tells her he has a gift waiting for her in his locker.
Can I open it?
Sure. There's just one thing I want you to do.
What?
I want you to wake up.
The next day, Bender finds the Leela, stop doing that, it is too adorable. Bender finds the gift, proving to Leela that Fry's consciousness must still exist somewhere.
Fry is alive somewhere, and he's reaching me in my dreams.
Bull pies!
One of my favorite jokes of this show is the Farnsworth insults. In fact, the next 3 minutes are the funniest parts of the episode thanks to him.
Professor, can't you examine my brain without removing it?
Yes, easily.
Despite Leela's hopes, the professor concludes that Fry is 100% dead. Everyone now believes that Leela's dream is a sign that she's going crazy, rather than proof that Fry could be alive. Later that night, Leela has another encounter with Fry.
I'm just gonna keep talking, even if you can't hear me.
Remember that?
You can. All you have to do is wake up.
No, don't say that. This is real.
Wake up goes from being a simple request from Fry to having significance. Those words now mean something to both Leela and the audience. So Leela does wake up, but this time she's wearing Fry's jacket. However, when she goes to show her co-workers, it turns out to be her own jacket.
Everything's going to be all right, Leela.
What?
I said everything's going to be all right.
Leela slowly starts to believe that maybe she might be losing it, and lets the room know she's been taking space honey. The others tell her that the space honey will calm her down, but it has other ramifications, including possibly putting her in a Snow White sleep. Hey, remember that part I told you to remember? No, not that part. This part.
I feel funny. Haha, funny.
Almost every time Leela starts dreaming, she takes space honey right before. It seems like the writers want us to notice this, almost like the honey is the cause of Leela's dreams. Did any of you think that when you were watching this for the first time? Well, good job, because you fell for the red herring and completely missed the real foreshadowing. Leela decides to calm herself down with some more space honey. However, she accidentally spills the space jelly onto the sofa, which has a reaction.
In short, the various fluids Fry left in the couch caused the royal jelly to regenerate his entire being.
That brings us back to the moment I asked you to remember.
I'm just gonna keep talking, even if you can't hear me.
No, the other moment. Jeez, I asked you guys to do one thing. Now this is the moment I fell for. Fry being dead but coming back as a clone of himself makes complete sense for Futurama logic and still maintains the status quo. It's exactly the kind of ending I originally expected from the episode. But...
you have to wake up.
Wake up? Oh no! No! It can't be!
Yeah, I was wrong. So it was all a dream again. Leela starts to stress out as it becomes more difficult to tell what's real and what's fake. Then this happens.
In every life, we have some trouble.
But when you worry, you make it double.
Don't worry.
Be happy. Ba-doop-doop.
I'm not joking when I say, this moment terrifies me.
Don't worry. Be happy.
Were you just singing?
No.
Trying to keep a grip on reality, Leela comes up with the perfect plan to keep herself sane.
I'll find Fry's coffin, get his corpse, and keep it under my mattress to remind me that he's really dead. That'll prove I'm not insane.
Her attempt is all for naught, however, as it once again turns out to be a dream.
What happened? Why am I in my apartment?
You killed Fry!
At this point, it's become obvious. Leela is going insane over the guilt of Fry's death. She decides that the only way for her to be happy is to sleep forever. That way, she can always be with him in her dreams. All it takes is 3 spoonfuls, and her problems will be over. 3 spoonfuls, and no more pain. Only happiness.
Listen to me. You don't want to lie in bed like a vegetable and do nothing the rest of your life.
And what am I supposed to do?
Fight it!
I can't!
And this is where I started throwing burgers on the grill. Hearing the desperation in Leela's voice and how she just wants to escape from everything. Good gravy, the charcoal lit up like it was Christmas. Leela's world becomes more and more crazy. She's frightened, tearful, and it seems like everything is out to get her.
Just wake up, Leela. Please, just wake up.
I don't understand what you mean!
Just wake up, please.
Oh boy, and I need some hot dogs for this grill. It's revealed that from the point that Leela got stung onwards, everything was a dream. The poison from the space bee entered her system and put her into what was supposed to be a permanent coma. By some miracle, she was able to pull through and woke up 2 weeks later. Throughout the whole time, Fry was by her side, talking to her in hopes that he could bring her back.
I thought maybe if you heard a familiar voice, it might help keep your mind together. But who knows if it really got through.
It got through, Fry. It got through.
Chicken. That's what needs to go on the grill next. So this episode tugs at the feels, obviously. But like Luck of the Fryrish, there's more reasons to talk about it than just that. A lot of times when a show ends with "it was all a dream," audiences usually groan because the show wanted to create drama without having to deal with the consequences. But this, despite also using that concept, is considered one of the best episodes of Futurama. Why is that? Well, I think it's because that even though it was all a dream, the drama and consequences still existed. Yeah, we lose the consequence of Fry being dead, but the audience was never gonna believe that anyway. The true consequence is Leela losing her mind, which even in dream state is a real possibility. One of the most popular theories out there, which is pretty much canon at this point, is that Leela trying to escape through the honey is a representation of her brain almost giving in to being in a permanent coma. Another aspect that's great about this episode is its rewatchability. It has a decent twist. Not mind-blowing or anything, but there's enough clues that people felt like it was satisfying and not shark jumpy. And like any story with a good twist, people like to go back and rewatch certain moments that make the twist come together. Alright, I asked you to remember... Never mind, you guys have not been doing that so far, so I'll just play the scene for you.
I'm just gonna keep talking, even if you can't hear me.
The reason why Fry at times thought Leela couldn't hear him is because sometimes real-world Fry's dialogue would come into the dream. See that toy next to Leela after she wakes up? Looks pretty familiar, doesn't it? And of course, there's the obviousness of Fry constantly asking Leela to wake up, which is what most people focus on. Alright, let's talk feels and get ready to apply the sauce to the meat. Leela panicking while Fry telling her not to give up is probably where it hits me the hardest. Katie Sagal really hit the high note in making Leela sound desperate and afraid.
I'm so scared, Fry. I don't know what to do.
But if that scene doesn't get you, then the scene that'll make you turn up the grill heat is in the hospital room. Hearing that Fry stayed by Leela's side the whole time is something a lot of people crave for. A loved one who would do anything for them. And not only that, but the revelation that Leela only survived this encounter because Fry wouldn't stop comforting her is extremely touching. I know the show wants to focus on this line.
Who knows if it really got through.
It got through, Fry. It got through.
But I was actually more impressed with this one.
Leela, you're awake!
Of course I'm awake. You wouldn't stop waking me.
Both convey the same thing, that it was Fry who saved Leela. But the second one is a lot more subtle. Either way, The Sting definitely deserves the recognition it has for being one of the best episodes of Futurama. It's funny, it makes you want to rewatch it, and it proves once again that this show can not only tell a heartfelt story, but can do it extremely well. This has been Shady Doorags. So long, farewell, Ad Vita saying goodbye.